Hey guys, it's Wraith and Kat here, and we are here today to talk about, finally, Everdark Academy Public Podcast. First of all, Kat, we need proof of life, which means we need a meow. So we are really excited to bring Everdark Academy and MM Vampire Romance to you. It is the sequel to Everdark for all of you who have been listening, but those of you who have not, you don't actually have to listen to Everdark in order to enjoy Everdark Academy. It does lead you in, and there are characters from the past, and there are things that you won't necessarily get to enjoy as much, but you will figure it all out. So if you're new to us and you're just finding this, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to listen to this MM Vampire Romance. You're good to go. We believe we're going to have our first episode around mid-February. So we're going to do a live stream on February 14th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time to sort of launch this thing. And hopefully we'll have that first episode out for you to listen to. This is incredibly exciting. We went from 9-person cast to 14-person cast. So those of you who don't know, we actually have Her Grace Reed's studio who hired all these people. They all auditioned. They're incredible. Bring all these characters to life, bring the story to life. You have old fan favorites from Everdark coming on, but a lot of new people that I can't wait for you to hear and react to. We're really excited to do this. Now, some technical things. Those of you who are listening to us on YouTube, Everdark Academy will be continuing on the Wraith Rain channel, just like Everdark did. We're not going to do a separate channel like we did for the Night Prince. So you can listen to us right here. It's going to start. It's going to be the same thing as normal with a once a week upload, we think. Those of you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and others, Everdark Academy will be its own thing. It will not be a season 2, for example, of Everdark. So you're going to literally see it on its own feed. It's just too much to try to do a season 2. It's confusing and it makes it hard, I know, on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do it. And we need to then talk about some stuff that we're not too happy to talk about. The first thing is the climate change in the world overall has made that putting out gay content, even if it's pretty damn PG, has become less safe than it was in the past. So Everdark Academy, unlike Everdark and even unlike Dragon's Reign and the Night Prince, has a lot more sexual content that is threaded in throughout the chapters rather than having, for example, a single chapter like chapter 83 of Dragon's Reign where I could just summarize it and say that one can't be out. So there's going to be a lot of ungraceful edits of the chapters coming out. That's something that you need to be aware of. We will alert you when there's been content removed, but it will not be terribly clean. Also, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the podcast places, they don't actually pay for listens. So you might be used to, if you're a Spotify listener, listening to your favorite music artist and knowing that they're getting a fraction of a penny. They don't do that for podcasts. So podcasts are in fact not paid unless they have sponsorships or they have advertisers who come in. As a small niche channel and being gay romantic content, we do not get a lot of those opportunities. Either they don't want to have their product associated with something that's gay, or we don't want to be associated with them because they have adverse LGBTQIA stances. So the only way this podcast is actually supported is if you buy a membership from wraithrain.com, purchases from our shop, or you buy our books from Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. So you are going to experience some advertising from us on the podcast itself. If you don't want to have your content censored, join wraithrain.com, which you can right now, and you can stream uncensored, unadvertised Everdark Academy podcast. It's way over 20 chapters, and you know that you are in fact supporting the podcast that you love because all the money we get really goes into making new content. We are bringing these things up in advance because while many listeners are very savvy, a few are not in terms of why does there have to be edits? Why does there have to be advertisements? A lot of people will always point us to some other big podcast and say, well, they aren't edited. Why are you? For the most part, if they are like our content, they just haven't been hit yet, but they will be. If they are het content or larger podcasts, they have the aura, the force field around them of being such. We are not. We are a very small niche podcast. And this is our way to get members in to wraithrain.com. This is our main way of advertising. And this is our main way of getting the money to support these kind of projects. Kat, do you have something to add for that?
Everything that we make through memberships and shop purchases and stuff, that support goes towards the thing that we're going to do next. So you give us your membership today, and who knows what we'll do in the future tomorrow.
Everdark itself, which is a 9-member cast, only came about because people just signed up for memberships after reading free books. So now you get the benefit of all those prior members and prior sales of books to create these incredible multi-actor cast podcasts, which we couldn't have done in the past. You know, you look at things like Heated Rivalry or Markiplier's Iron Lung. The way that you make these things happen and get the purest form of that art is if you are directly supporting the artist who's going to make it.
Yeah, I just saw the Iron Lung promo. It looks great. And I really like this way of doing basically art creation, because this way makes sure that the creators don't answer to anybody, like investors or outside voices that want them to be a little more X or a little less Y. For better or for worse, what you get is what we wanted to do.
That's right. We don't have to cut corners, or we don't have to abridge our creative vision because we don't have anyone else telling us, well, we put X amount of money in here, so now you've got to do what we want. Exactly. But also, you know, we understand that people's entertainment budgets are limited. And we want you to know how much we appreciate any dollars that you put towards us. And we understand what a big sacrifice that can, in fact, be. That's just why we try to put out as much free content as we can. And we're doing the best we can. But we really can't risk losing our ability to be on these third-party platform sites. And so we have to be a little bit more cautious than maybe some other creators. We just wanted to make you aware of what was sort of going to be happening and to set your expectations so that you weren't disappointed if you're like, oh my gosh, there's like a lot cut in these first chapters I'm listening to. Why do you have, you know, a couple of advertisements for yourself? You know, this is breaking the flow of the story. We understand those things and we do feel for them, but it's what we do need to do in order to make sure that this comes to you at all. So do keep that in mind. And we're really excited to hear what you guys think of Everdark Academy.
And be on the live stream. February 14th, 2 p.m. Central. We'll post the link in the notes.
Can't wait to see you then. Thanks, guys.